Okay, so we are, like Samantha said, we are taking different requests to address different conditions so we can start addressing things that you guys have direct interest in addressing. And we'll start addressing them week to week. And so this is really a way to give back to you guys and to do direct applications on just really straightforward, simple approaches to unwind things where you don't have to take the time to really study and learn to grasp what is going on with the situation. We can look at it from a point of view of different physiological things to address. And then also if there's psychological things that are coming up, how to go through and address them in an integrated approach. And so this is based on many years of experience. I'm drawing upon a lot of my old notes and just old experiences. And, you know, one of the things that I did through many years of my career was we would do like basically research projects as a hired gun for some people, where we would go through and develop approaches to treat different conditions and even to develop therapeutic strategies for people within their modality. And so, you know, we'll take some of that information and apply it directly to these different conditions. So one of the things that I would like to do as well is, you know, think of it like a teaching hospital where you're dealing with conditions that are something that you're either treating or something that you're dealing with directly yourself. We want to get feedback for the group. So if you're comfortable with having interactions with the group, talking about the condition when we're treating different conditions, if there's more people than just one person, you know, I really encourage you to give some feedback about how treatment is so that we can adjust it to help you get the best results as possible. Because sometimes these things, there's multiple causes that can bring about these conditions, and not everybody always responds the same way. And so, you know, sometimes when you're doing therapy, sometimes the not getting results tells you as much as when you get results, you know, if you know what to look for. And so we'll kind of process it as a group if you're okay with that and you feel comfortable with that. And so basically we're going to have like these ongoing study groups over a period of time where we address particular problems and issues, and you know, have it be a work and study group in motion, you know. So we'll evolve it as it comes along. I've done this in other modalities. I haven't done it a whole lot with medical aromatherapy, but definitely have done it with a bunch of other modalities. So with that, one of the things that we're going to address right off the bat, I think it's a very common problem. We had several people email about this. Probably out of everything, it was the thing that people emailed the most. And it was basically some form of back or neck pain. You know, back, neck, you could even say shoulder, but we're going to stick with the spine today. And we'll keep doing this until we feel that we've covered everything. It might be just, you know, the single study group session. It might be over a couple of sessions. So one of the things that I would like to do is not just look at it from the point of view of going after symptoms. We're wanting to not always be just going after symptoms. We want the symptoms to tell us pieces of information, but we might be going after a system, an overall approach of something psychological and physical or physiological. Sometimes we go over more of a physiological approach. We can go over multiple systems, sometimes contribute to a single problem. So we're going to look at this through the lens of different approaches. It's not always going to be simply, this is a symptom and what do we do? That is a very short-sighted approach. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's applicable. But the more that you start to get into chronic conditions, the more that it becomes less of the proper way to approach something, and it becomes just a way to start chasing your tail. For acute conditions, it actually works very, very well. And so, you know, a lot of times we might have to question, and we might start with one approach and then shift over to a different approach. So it depends, you know, it really depends. So with that, with the people that are watching, how many people do we have right now?
34.
Like 34. Okay, so with the people that are watching, how many people have some sort of back pain or neck pain? Like, just, you know, raise your hand on the chat group, or just let us know somehow. You don't have to give details, just raise your hand, basically.
Yeah, there's a handful of hands. Couple of chats I do. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe type in, is it neck, mid back, upper back, or low back? Include the hips as well.
I have a lower back, low back, shoulder, upper back, low back, neck and low back, sometimes sciatica, lumbar and hips, but also neck and hips, mid back, upper, mid, lower, and hips, all of the above, low back, neck,
so,
neck, hips.
Yeah, so we're a little bit all over the place with everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we even had more emails than what's even present right now. Sometimes people don't make the study group, but they get the recordings for later. So, all right, so with this, there are several things that we want to look at. So right off the bat, there's different kinds of pain, right? You have pain where it's dull and achy, right? This is called nociceptive pain. And then you have pain that is sharp, stabbing, radiating, prickling, tingling. This is basically nerve pain, right? So these two are some of the more common types of pain. You either have it be dull or achy, or sharp and stabbing. Sharp and stabbing means that the nerve has been compromised somewhere. Dull and achy means that that area is basically stagnant with blood and lymph, right? So it basically means that that area hasn't detoxified, and there's poor blood supply and poor drainage of that area. So what happens a lot of times is that it can be both, right? It can be both. So we are going to approach this as a way of alleviating body tension and restoring some mechanics to not just relieve the condition for 6-8 hours or so that you can sleep good, but to go through and alleviate anything that contributes to this so that we bring longer relief, and we start to actually integrate prevention into this coming back again, rather than just trying to make a symptom go away. Especially when pains are chronic, the goal of just trying to make pain go away, really you end up chasing your tail after a period of time. You might get a little bit of relief, but the thing causing the pain is usually too many factors, and you end up just constantly, you get relief for a little bit and then you don't, and then you change something, you get relief a little bit and then you don't, right? So with that, we're going to talk about the different kinds of pain. So first off is sharp stabbing pain, right? When we have sharp stabbing pain, basically a nerve has been compromised, right? When there is what they call an entrapment, it is soft tissue pushing on the nerve, right? Just soft tissue pushing on the nerve, or it's soft tissue pushing on the nerve against bone, right? So it's basically soft tissue oriented. If you have an impingement, it is bone on bone, or bone or cartilage pushing on that nerve. This tends to be more substantial. This can also be a thinning of the disc, right? So you have like the two vertebrae, and the disc is right here, it acts as a spacer. As this gets thinner, those bones keep getting closer and closer together, and eventually it starts putting pressure on one of the nerves. Now, when a nerve has the pressure on it, the weight of a nickel, right, it actually starts to balloon up and become compromised. So if you took a nickel and laid it on your hand, that's the amount of pressure that it takes for the nerve to be compromised, right? And so with that, what starts to happen is the nerve puffs up, it becomes easier and easier for it to become compromised farther down the line. So if it comes out from the spine and it's compromised, as it starts to go down the hip, the back, and into the low leg, it becomes easier and easier for it to be compromised. So it might be that you start to have pain in the leg, but your problem is actually up at the spine, right? Or you have problems down in your wrist or your hand, and the problem is actually up in the neck. So with that, we always want to look at the spine for any sort of irregularities to open up the flow of nerves. This also helps to correct any sort of body alignment, right? Any sort of body alignment. So this is what I'd like you to do, okay? So just sit without your notes or anything on your lap. Just sit and just kind of relax yourself and let your body just naturally go into a relaxed state. You don't have to necessarily close your eyes, but just allow your shoulders to relax, your hips to relax, everything to relax, okay? You're not keeping anything straight. You're just constantly letting your body relax, right? Now, notice how your jaw fits in your mouth. Notice how it fits on the behind the teeth of the upper jaw. Okay, now raise your left shoulder up about 3 inches or so. Leave it up 3 inches. Now, with that, what happened to the way that your jaw sits in your mouth? How does it seat up to the upper jaw? If you keep holding it up like this, what do you notice? You notice it doesn't feel the same, right? You can feel how your jaw has shifted around, right? It's shifted around and is the way that the teeth are meeting the jaw becomes compromised, right? So this can happen with shoulders, this can happen with hips. The jaw is the tip of the iceberg. So sometimes a person might have, say, a lot of headaches or grinding of the teeth. Sometimes it's body alignment. And so this is, again, a good example of when your body has problems in other places, where the pain or the problem shows up is not where the problem is at. It's not what is causing the pain, right? So you can work on the jaws a whole bunch, but if you don't address the misalignments, you're just going to have that come back again in a short amount of time, right? That can cause headaches, that can cause migraines, that can cause anxiety, that can cause adrenal disorders, that can cause blood pressure issues, sleep disturbances, all of that from the jaw not being lined up, right? So that elevated hip or that elevated shoulder, all of a sudden over a period of time, starts to cause a lot of physiological problems, right? So we want to have a way of systematically going through and addressing these things without you having to really memorize a bunch of things or diagnosing a bunch of things. If you go and you start treating and the person starts to feel better or you start to feel better, then you know, like, boy, if I do phase 1 of this, oh, I feel so much better. But you know, really, after I've done 4 or 5 different steps, phase 3 is the one that's really magic for me. You know, you're treating something and kind of evaluating at the same time. When you find something that really makes you feel better, it's because it's really starting to address the problem, and you're systematically using the treatment also as a form of evaluation for what is causing the condition, right? So if you just go through and start doing these steps, then it becomes easier and easier for you to figure out this is what the problem is, right? So with that, the very first thing we want to address is your diaphragm, right? This is a much bigger problem for muscular issues, back issues, and digestive issues than people really give it credit for. When the diaphragm is tight, for one, you start to have very short, rapid breathing. Two, these muscles on the side of your neck, these two rope muscles, called the sternocleidomastoid, or sometimes they'll call them SCM, right, for short. Basically, they elevate the rib cage so that you can take a breath. If the diaphragm is tight, they have to work extra, extra hard to elevate the rib cage. So you keep having to strain with your neck to elevate the rib cage because of the tight diaphragm. So it starts to cause neck issues. When the diaphragm is tight, just by a physiological reaction, it tightens up the little muscles that go in between the spine. So if the spine goes like this, right? Like these are the vertebrae, like this, right? Mm-hmm. There's these little muscles that go between the vertebrae called the multifidi, right? You don't really need to know it. They just are these little tiny muscles that basically help the spine move and bend, right? So what happens when the diaphragm is really super tight, the direct correspondence is these muscles, because of having to strain to breathe, become more and more contracted. They try to protect the spinal cord. So the harder it is for you to take a breath, the more pressure is put on the spinal nerves due to a tight diaphragm, and then eventually the tight multifidi. So just right there, you're starting to put pressure on the nerves, and you're starting to be more and more predisposed to the nerve being compromised, right? Now, soon as you have sharp stabbing pain in the body, in a short amount of time, your body's response is you develop spasms in the bronchioles, which is this little tree-like thing in your lungs that are part of your respiratory tract. So basically, over a period of time, you start developing short, rapid breathing, right? Short, rapid breathing. And when you have short, rapid breathing, it increases body tension, which puts more pressure on the nerves. Short, rapid breathing also causes tension to happen in the diaphragm. So your problem just got worse. And it increases anxiety. When you have short, rapid breath, that is mechanically how you would induce, one way to induce anxiety in a person. Over a period of time, that simply turns into a sleep disorder. So right there, even if the pain is caused by another problem, if you don't unwind the breath, whatever fix you put in there is short-sighted, right? It's just short-sighted. You have to unwind the breath. If you unwind the breath, the rest of the therapy goes substantially better, right? So when we had, with either essential oils, with pranic healing, with osteopathic manipulations, we were using all different modalities. Basically, when we had people who had an MRI of a bulging disc, and we looked at a before and after, we had over an 80% success rate of actually getting that disc back in place and having it validated with an MRI, right? So when we did that approach, part of what we did was, the very first step was we treated the respiratory tract, being the lungs, and then slowing down and deepening the breath. So I talk about this from time to time. I mention it in a lot of different classes, but I can't emphasize enough how important your breath is to overall body health, like your physiology. If your breath is off, it practically throws off the whole rest of the body, right? So if a person is tied to having a lot of allergies or asthma or has anxiety, the very first thing you do is you treat the breath. You deepen the breath, relax the diaphragm, open up the spine. So we're going to do that right off the bat. Now, one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of hyssop, and the other oil is Sitka. Another oil that you could use would be frankincense. These three are really some of the best oils used for slowing down the breath, deepening the breath, and relaxing the diaphragm, right? So let's have you look for one of those three oils in your kit. If you don't have one of those, let us know. But really, at some point, you should have at least one of those three. If you've taken some classes with me, you probably have one of those, because we try to make at least one of those available, you know, in a lot of the different classes. So
And any hyssop, any frankincense, whatever.
any hyssop, any frankincense. The best hyssop is for this is hyssop decumbens. But if you don't have hyssop decumbens, any hyssop will work. I mean, hyssop work really super good for this. But if I was making a special kit for somebody with severe back pain, hyssop decumbens would actually be what I would use. Okay, so dig around and find the oils that you're looking for. Okay, so now start to take, just hold it up to your nose and start to, everybody has an oil though? Seems like everybody has an oil. Okay, so start to take a long, slow, deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, just rest your eyes for a moment. Let go of the inhalation. Open and close your jaw. We just want to check the tension in your jaw. So open it, and then kind of just gently move it side to side. Okay. Now, you're going to begin inhaling again, but we're going to follow a pattern. So inhale, your awareness is on your throat. Keep inhaling with your awareness on the throat. Keep inhaling. Your awareness is still on the throat. Now, from here, you're going to move down to the little notch between the two collarbones. This is the throat minor. This deeply impacts the bronchioles. So long, slow, deep breath into that area. Okay, just be still, let everything go. Okay, before we continue, actually just move your back around like this, twist it, and then bend forward and arch it, and just see how it feels. We're just measuring right now. And let's have you stand up and just bend over and touch your toes. Try to keep your legs as straight as possible. And just, again, we're doing this to measure, not to do any therapy. We just want to see how easy is it for you to bend over? How easy is it for you to straighten up? Okay. All right. Now, continue to breathe with your awareness on that throat minor where the bronchioles are. Continue to take long, slow, deep breaths. Continue to take long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on that area. Keep taking long, slow, deep breaths. Okay, just be still. Just be aware. Let everything go for a moment. Again, you're still in that area. Begin to take long, slow, deep breaths in that area again. You're on the bottom part of your throat, in that little notch between the two collarbones. Continue to inhale on that same spot. Okay, now look at me for a second. So here's the spot, the throat minor, the bottom part of the throat, right? Now, if I take and I point on that with my thumb, and then I gently lay my hand below that area with my thumb somewhat extended, right? No, not completely, but almost, right? So this area where my hand is, I'm going to take long, slow, deep breaths, and I'm going to continue to put my awareness right there, right? So there is a little minor energy center there, but we're really shooting more for the bronchioles. So you can hold it there for just a moment, but after you're used to it, you can take the hand away and you keep breathing with your awareness on that area. Continue to breathe on that area. Okay, now move your awareness up to the jaws, up to where they hinge in front of the ears. So right in this area. Long, slow, deep breath. Continue. Continue. Okay, be still, be aware, just let everything go. Again, begin to breathe. Your awareness is on the jaws again, the jaw minors, right in front of the ears. Now move your awareness to the area right below the cheekbones, the cheek minors. Taking long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness right here, under the cheekbones. You okay? No. Continue with your awareness on your cheek minors. A lot of tension gets held up in the face. Now move your awareness up to the ear canals, the holes in your ears. Now move to the back heart, the area between your shoulder blades. Okay, be still, just let it go for a moment. Keep your eyes closed. Okay, again, begin inhaling. Your awareness is on your back heart, the area between your shoulder blades. Yeah, your awareness is on your back heart. Move your awareness inward to the lungs. Take long, slow, deep breath. Your awareness is on the lungs. Keep your awareness on the lungs, especially the lower part of your lungs. Just be still. Move down to your front solar plexus, under your ribs, on the front side, the upper part of your abdomen. Keep your awareness on the front solar plexus. Long, slow, deep breaths. Just be still, be aware. Just let everything go for a moment. Begin inhaling again, this time on your back solar plexus, which is your mid back. Continue inhaling. Just let everything go, just be still. Again, take long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on your back solar plexus, that area in your mid back. Keep inhaling. Now, just let it go for a moment. Now, pay attention to your body. Where are the spots where you feel the pain or you feel tension or where you feel restriction? You might only have one, you might have a small list, right? So I'd like you to take long, slow, deep breaths, put your awareness on that tight spot, that painful spot of your body. Just take long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on that part of your body. Keep taking long, slow, deep breaths. move to another spot, or if it's just a really bad spot, you can stay there and linger and take long, slow, deep breaths. As it changes, you change and move your attention and awareness as it changes. Okay, just be still, let it all go, let everything go. Just close your eyes and let it go. Okay, back to your body. Wherever the painful spot is or area of tension, put your awareness there and take long, slow, deep breaths. Just be still and let everything go. Now, this next piece, we want to calm down the agitation in the front and back solar plexus and the Ming Men. And sometimes with neck issues, it's actually in the back heart. So we want to reach for one of these oils. Vetiver, spikenard, valerian. You can also use the blend Spikenard Extra, relaxation, the blend restful sleep, or the blend sleep support. You could also use Sitka. Does somebody not have one of those? If you don't have one of those, type it in.
I don't know if they'll be in a PDF, but we can get these protocols off to you guys. Yeah, we can have them typed up. I don't know if it'll be in a PDF, but we can get it typed up over for you guys. I just have one person who doesn't.
Oh, what do they have? What are the choices?
I'm checking with her right now.
Hold on, just a sec.
Angels 1 and 2. I think she has one more class.
I'll use the keeps in the bush. Okay, so you're going to rotate oils and you're going to grab the spikenard, vetiver, whatever you have as your choice, and begin to inhale. Your awareness is on the front solar plexus. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on your front solar plexus. Continue to inhale on your front solar plexus. Move your awareness to the mid-back, the back solar plexus area. Okay, let it go for a moment. Just be still, be aware. Begin inhaling again, still on the back solar plexus, which is your mid-back area, below the shoulder blades. Move your awareness down to your low back area, opposite your navel, on your spine, which is the Ming Men. Keep inhaling with your awareness on the Ming Men. Okay, let it go. Pick up the first oil we used, some form of hyssop or whatever you used. Begin inhaling that. Your awareness is on the front solar plexus. Move your awareness to the back solar plexus. Continue to inhale with your awareness on the back solar plexus. It's more than that. Move your awareness down to the low back area, the Ming Men, opposite your navel. Move your awareness up to the back heart, the area between your shoulder blades. Just be still, be aware, just let it go. Now pick up the second oil that we used, be it the vetiver, the spikenard, whatever it was. The blend, begin inhaling. We're going to do the same pattern. The awareness is on the front solar plexus. Keep your awareness on the front solar plexus. Move your awareness to the back solar plexus, the mid-back area. Move to your low back area, the min min, opposite your navel on the spine. Move your awareness up to the back heart, the area between your shoulder blades. Just be still, be aware, just completely let go. Just let go. Okay, let's have you take a few more long, slow, deep breaths with that same oil. Put your awareness on the part of your body that is compromised or has pain. Even if there's no pain there right now, that same area. Keep inhaling into that area of your body. Just let go. Let go of everything. Now, the last little piece that we're going to do is to impact the spine a little bit more. So if you have marjoram, if you have black pepper, if you have basil, if you have petitgrain. So again, marjoram, black pepper, basil, petitgrain. Also, if you have the blend antispasmodic, if you don't have any of those, tarragon would also work. But if you don't have any of those, just maybe hang out. This last section will just be very quick. You're going to take several drops. You're going to put the oil in your hand, and as high as you can, you're going to rub it just gently into the spine, you know, both like this direction and from this direction. There's going to be a part of your spine you're not going to be able to reach. Cover as much of your spine as you can. Now also cover the spot right here where your neck and your shoulders come together. This helps to take some of the tension off the spine. And then on your tailbone, like the top of your tailbone, where the pelvis comes in on each side, a little bit on each side, right at the top of your hip bones. Okay, and now take a few drops and you're gonna go to your feet. And in between your toes, you're gonna apply a little bit of oil like this, in between the toes. So on the web and along the sides of each toe, on both feet. When you do this, this will impact the spine as well. Okay, once you're done, then just be still and just let it incubate, let your body relax. Just sit still and just completely let go. You can keep your eyes open if you'd like. Okay, now again, move your back side to side, twist it, move forward, move back, move your spots. And how do you feel? This is only us partially treating this, but it's a good start. So this first segment is really about unwinding the diaphragm and beginning to unwind the spine. The people who have issues with the back or neck, let's have you give a little bit of feedback. You can either unmute yourself or type in.
Someone said very relaxed, relaxed and aligned.
Relaxed and aligned, good. And
More
that
flexible.
area, more range of motion, more flexibility.
Yeah, really more.
A lot more, good, good.
More loose, somebody said.
Okay, besides the ones who said they had pain in the neck and back, anybody else want to unmute themselves or type something in?
Someone said their lung capacity doubled.
Lung, but yeah, your lung capacity will increase quite substantially.
Someone said much looser. Neck is mobile and moves smoothly. Lower back still spasms.
Put some more of the marjoram on the low back, like in about an hour or two. Like the thing is like when the low back, sometimes it's actually the psoas, which is on the front part of the spine. So it takes quite a bit longer time to unwind the back sometimes. The other issue is sometimes the back is reacting to the hips. So you could put your awareness on each side of the hip, like where the dimple in your butt cheek is, or you can take some marjoram and put it in like some lotion or alcohol, be it a liniment or you know, an ointment, you know, like 6-8 drops, and then rub your hands together with the lotion and then rub it all over your butt cheeks. That'll help take some of the tension out of the back. Sometimes low back issues are actually hip issues.
Someone said, I felt good to start, but feel great now. Another, lots of cracking and loosening up of jaw and neck.
Yeah, good.
Another, more flexibility and ability to take much deeper breaths. Someone said, feels loose and flexible in back and knee pain is gone.
Knee pain is gone. Good,
Mm-hmm.
good, good. Okay. Well, next week we're going to continue with delving into this a little bit more, and then we might start dealing with another issue, but we'll at least pick up where we left off and get some good basic treatment under our belts. I mean, really, this impacts pretty much everybody. I mean, this one particular health issue, back when I was a therapist, I mean, it was about 40% of my clientele was some sort of neck or back issue. And so you get good at this, you can help a lot of people. If your back or neck's not hurting now, you know, at some point you sleep on it wrong, you strain it, you're traveling, so, you know, something happens. And so we'll be dealing with this for a little bit, and we'll keep touching on this as time goes by. But I mean, we easily could spend the next 4 or 5 study groups on this, but I know there's other things that people want to talk about. So we'll go in depth and kind of move from there. I mean, one of the things that I'd like to bring to the table with this kind of stuff is, you know, when you're going through and you're treating like a back issue or a neck issue, rarely does somebody start with the breath. But if you have shallow, rapid breathing, you're constantly increasing body tension. If your solar plexus and Ming Men and back heart are agitated, you're constantly generating body tension. And the more the body tension increases, it is a downward spiral. And so if you can just break the pattern there, you usually start feeling better. It's just a bunch of physiological responses that just get a little bit out of control. So it's a way of breaking this down before it gets worse, right? And then you're starting to do prevention. You're correcting the issue and then starting to prevent it from happening again, right? So even though it feels good, one of the things that I'd like to ask you to do, you know, the recording will be available to you. Go through and do this at least one more time before next Tuesday. If you can, do it twice, but at least try to do it one more time. Now, if you want, take something like a coffee bath, a Palo Santo bath, marjoram, basil, about 1 pound of salt in with your bath. Between now and next week, take maybe at least 1 or 2 salt baths. Right? So this will help the process. This will help treat the overall body. Especially marjoram baths are really good for your spine. Palo Santo and coffee are pretty darn good as well. So one of the choices there should be helpful. Petitgrin, you know, something along that lines. Okay, so anybody have a question? I still have a few minutes before my next meeting.
I did want to let you guys know, I'll get it typed up and I'll put it on Plant Prana Q&A. And if you're not on the Facebook Plant Prana Q&A group, just email us at plantpranacalendar@gmail.com and I'll get that over to you.
I have time for 1 or 2 questions before my next meeting if you guys want to ask. You guys are so quiet.
I'm pretty sure you guys can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Oh, somebody talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw somebody else. Over the weekend, you were talking about heliochrysum for scarring, and my
Uh-huh.
son has a lot of acne scars, so he wanted to know if I would find out more about it and create something
Yeah,
for him.
any sort of scarring, helichrysum will, because anytime you have a scar, basically what you have underneath the scar is a fascial lesion. With acne scars, you do have small fascial lesions underneath. Now, sometimes there is a little bit of like a hole in that area where, the acne had been bad. I mean, I don't know how bad it was, but it still can clean some of that up. Like what it does is a lot of times, because it's getting more blood to the bottom layer of the skin, the top layer of the skin will begin to change. And so even if there's a thickening of the skin or the scar area, that area will thin down and get a little bit better. And then over a period of time, even the scar itself, where the hole was or the cut, will keep getting lighter and lighter. Like it'll keep matching the skin next to it. So on the face, I would probably, you could probably put it on just neat, but for the face, I kind of don't like to do that. And so you could use a real thin oil to apply it, like Tamanu. Tamanu is a really great oil for treating things on the face because the molecules are really small and the oil absorbs very, very quickly. And so it is used for treating things like scars and things like that. Even by itself, Tamanu is therapeutic, right? The other one you could use is rosehip oil, but if he doesn't want to use something oil-based, have him take like pure aloe vera. You can buy it like in a tube where it's just like 100% pure, like it's just the gel. And squeeze some of the gel in and then just mix in a couple of drops and then have him mix it with his finger and then just kind of rub it all over his face and let it dry. And that will work, and it doesn't have the oily residue or aftermath. So
yeah, okay. And that works for keloids too?
it works incredibly well. My skin type, keloid's really bad.
Yeah, so does his.
Like it's olive skin, usually keloid is really bad. And so, I've had like eight surgeries, and a couple of the surgeries, the stitches broke free. And so I have like really bad keloids in that area. And over a period of time of putting the helichrysum on there, you can see the lines, but like it's not the raised fat keloid that was there. I mean, the keloids literally went away.
Wow, that's great.
It didn't even take very long. Like it was the first bottle of helichrysum. They changed dramatically.
Did you put it on once a day?
Usually once a day. Sometimes it would be twice a day. Like if I was just like home and not being active, just because I would remember to do it more than once a day.
Right.
But if you could just hit it like once a day and just consistently keep doing it. If it's not on the face, feel free to do it neat, like just a neat application. But on the face, you can see how sensitive the skin is.
Yeah.
So there is one issue, like there was one person, I've only seen this happen one time, and she was, I think she was Chinese. And because of the skin color and everything, the scar got smaller, but the scar darkened a little bit. And I've never seen that happen before. And so I think it's just maybe something to do with that particular like skin type. Out of all the years, I've probably used this at least probably 200 times for, surgery patients or people from accidents and things like that. And not only does the scar get better, but you really don't realize how much that fascial lesion underneath is causing discomfort, body misalignments, and some pain. Mm-hmm. And all of that stuff goes away. It's really super amazing. Yeah.
Well, I'll have him put it in the seaweed gel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
That's actually
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect carrier.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, thanks so much.
The seaweeds are really good skin regenerator. So that's actually ideal. So perfect.
Thanks.
Robin,
Greg.
you had a question?
Yeah.
Hey, Robin.
How's it going?
Hey, hey.
So I was talking to a friend today who's having a lot of eye problem, and they thought it was a detached retina, and then they said, no, it's not that. They think it's eye inflammation, but they don't know. I'm wondering, what your thoughts are about eye inflammation.
Yeah, it's hard to treat that with essential oils. Anything to do with the eye. If it is something eye related, I mean, one of the things is the eye breaks down when it's dehydrated, when it's not getting the moisture that it should. And so anytime the eye is seeming to be compromised, usually right off the bat, the first thing I have them do is put saline solution in their eyes, the drops that you can get at the store, but they don't have anything for redness or anything like that. They're just moisturizing drops. It's just basically a saline solution. And I have them do that 2 or 3 times a day. And so it allows the eye to regenerate somewhat, because when the eye starts to get dry, I mean, it just starts to become kind of toxic. And so sometimes the inflammation can be an autoimmune response. Sometimes it's an allergic response. Sometimes there's dryness. And then there could just be some degeneration. Or the other thing that happens a lot when you see issues with the eyes, like when they look at people with like cataracts and stuff, that eye tissue is substantially deficient in vitamin C. And so one of the things that I also will have people do is to not necessarily vitamin C like you would get from the drugstore, but I'd have them use like some quercetin, which is crude vitamin C, or just increase the amount of foods that they ingest that have vitamin C in them, different fruits and things like that. Just increase the levels of C to get it into more body parts, because the thing with vitamin C is it stabilizes the collagen, and when the collagen is not stable, tissue starts to break down. And with your eyes, if there's not enough vitamin C in that tissue and the eyes start breaking down, I mean, it's not long before you start actually feeling the consequences of that. So between the water, the saline solution, and the vitamin C, I mean, that is a good start. And then after that, we can start to suggest some herbs and things based on how that person responds to those first 2 steps. So I'd say, have them start that protocol, and then after 3 days, like 72 hours, have them report back to you, and then shoot me an email and tell me how they're doing. And based on how they're responding, that actually will tell me something. It tells me some information based on how they're responding. So it actually is a treatment and an evaluation or diagnosis all in the same action.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you know.
Oh, I'm just old and been around for a while.
It's 7:57.
Okay, yeah, I unfortunately have to get into another meeting. So
Thank you, Greg.
take care, you guys. Love you guys. And next week we'll jump in and pick up where we left off and start to cover something else.